Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hello and welcome to another episode of One Bag, One World. Now today I want to talk to you about something very near and dear to my heart, and probably something that every traveler has Googled at least once in their life, and that's what do I pack? Clothing is such a huge part of our identity on the road because it's one of the very few ways we can express ourselves when we don't have all of our personal items from home with us. But not only that, you want it to be functional, fashionable, quick drying, moisture wicking, etc., etc. The list goes on. Navigating your way through the ever-changing landscape of brands and products can be exhausting. So I'm here to pick one brand in particular that has absolutely blown me away and that I have used over and over and over again and have always been happy with the results. Today we're talking about wool and prints. Now, I'm sure if you're a seasoned traveler just getting into the space, you've probably already heard about the magic of merino wool. Now, this is a material that kind of came on the market, very popularly within like the last 20-ish years. It tends to pack very small. It's naturally antimicrobial, which means it doesn't smell. And it's moisture wicking, so it's even good for the hot and humid, although personally I would probably go with linen over it, but for pretty much everything else except for extreme heat, merino wool is my go-to. I absolutely love it. Now there is one flaw with merino wool in my opinion, and that's 100% merino wool isn't extremely durable, and that's probably the biggest question, especially when you're paying somewhere between 60 and 80 US dollars per t-shirt, right? You're like, okay, well I'm paying a premium for these clothings, I really want them to last. And this is something that I feel like Wool and Prince has really dominated on. Now by not using 100% merino wool in all of their product offerings, even though some of them are 100% merino wool, you do get a lot more durability from the wears of their t-shirts. So their clothing is pretty much 78% merino wool with 22% nylon filament wrapped around that merino wool thread. And that just gives it that extra durability, a little bit better of a drape in my opinion, and a better look overall. I don't really have issues with pilling like I did with some of my unbrowned merino shirts, even though they're extremely comfortable and I love them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I just think that there's a time and place for each, and for me, when I'm traveling, I want to wear my wool and print shirts. And that's because their shirts need to go where you do. You know, you're gonna be rough on them. You're gonna be wearing your backpack constantly, which is gonna be chafing on your shoulders and rubbing against your back. You know, you're gonna be dumping sweat into these things. You're gonna be in Southeast Asia, maybe just giving these to a laundry place for $2 to go get your laundry done. You're not always gonna be guaranteed to have that freedom and ability to hang dry your clothing all the time. And maybe you don't wanna wash them in the sink every night, which I totally get. My shirt needs to be able to handle anything. Now, Wool and Prince is really great. I've been speaking to them and they offer to send me a free piece of clothing, and if you've already watched Bree's video about a one bag resort video, she talked about the hoodie that she got and how much she absolutely loves it. She wears it all the time now. They sent me a linen shirt because I was doing hot weather one bag at the time, and it is quite hot here in Florida at the moment, so I really wanted something I can wear around. And before you think, oh okay, well he's getting free gear from them, of course he's gonna talk about them. I own a lot of their clothing. And I actually wish I hadn't decided to do this video because Bree saw how much clothing I owned and I think her mouth was a little agape. So just gonna show you. These are all of the things that I personally have individually purchased from Wool and Prince without any sort of sponsorship. So you can tell that I love the quality of their goods. This is a Wool and Prince V-neck. I took it with me for my 1.5-year trip around the world and I loved it. It just feels nice to feel confident in what you're wearing when you're on the road. If you're looking at some of this clothing right now, you can tell that none of it is really pilled or torn or looks more than just a couple weeks old, if that. I mean, it still looks brand new to me. And I have worn these clothes for over 10 years. And I'm gonna go through some of my favorite pieces and why I think you should go ahead and support this company. So getting started right now, I'm wearing their V-neck t-shirt. This is the 78% merino wool thread with a 22% nylon wrapped around the core. That gives it this nice kind of shiny feel, but it's very durable. I don't have a problem. I have a GoRuck GR2 that I was originally thinking about taking with me. If you don't know anything about the bag, it's like a very rough Cordura, so it causes a lot of abrasion, which could cause pilling in shirts, but these shirts handled it completely fine. I never ran into any problems with durability on the road. I washed these at laundromats all over the world. I gave them to laundromats all over the world. They never shrank. They never didn't fit well the next day. They felt incredibly comfortable the whole time. They were never itchy. Sometimes that's a complaint about merino wool, is that it can itch. These just feel amazing. It's like the perfect blend of durability, quality, and everything that you want on the road. So I really cannot say enough positive things. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try these on and I'll show you what they look like, but first I'm just gonna talk through them and we'll probably splice in just footage of how they look and fit on me. So for record, I'm 5'9", I'm about 175 pounds at the moment. I have a 42-inch chest, and for me, medium has been the magic size. It just fits me perfectly well. I don't really go towards their slim fit stuff, you know, with a 41-inch chest. I feel like it just never really buttons or looks that good. So all of the button downs will be regular fit. They do have both options available on their website. So first up, much like this shirt, this is the Henley V-neck button down. I just feel like it's a little way to kind of zhuzh up your travel closet. You know, maybe you just don't want a regular t-shirt. They have crew necks, they have one with a pocket. I personally like V-necks. It just gives me a little bit more breathing, especially in the hot and humid. And same thing with a Henley. I think they just look really good. I feel like they're very fashionable. Gives you some buttons to play around with if you want to feel a little more conservative or a little more risque, whatever. And I really, really like this blue color. I think it's beautiful. It's kind of got like this faint hint of black in the background. The material is just so soft. It's not very heavy. I think I have the weight saved somewhere. I'll include them in the description below. And it just packs down to nothing. This is a t-shirt right here. You take 3 of these and you probably don't need any other tops except for outer layers and maybe a base layer when you travel the world. That is it, and that is the power of Merino Wool and the power of woolen prints and why you should go and fill your closet like I did with their stuff. They are fantastic. So I didn't just get blue, I also got the gray Henley along with the gray shirt. As you can see, I was a little indecisive about which one I wanted to take around the world. Not only did I get this in gray, but I also have it in kind of a charcoal color, which is also fantastic. This is probably the first one that I bought. Obviously, as any one bag traveler, you probably own a lot of black clothing because it's very versatile and it goes everywhere. So of course, I have a black V-neck as well. We did spend some time in cold weather. It wasn't always hot. So I do have this Henley. So this is a long sleeve Henley. I think it fit me pretty well for a medium. I ended up not taking this because when you are just taking one bag, you need to be as versatile as possible. And a long sleeve Henley is pretty much for hot weather. I run hot in general, so I sweat a lot. So I went with their short sleeve shirts and then just grabbed a warm outer layer to throw on top. This was pretty much only gonna be for those in-between temperatures, and we really spent a lot of time in hot and humid, so it just wasn't as valuable to me as the short sleeve t-shirts. Now, if you haven't already watched our video on Turks and Caicos, or if you haven't seen my hot weather shirt rundown, I actually talk about the shirt at length. This is their wool linen blend. So this is what I really like about them. They still experiment with different fabrics and different blends of materials, which is really great. This one at the time when it came out was slim fit only, and it's why it wasn't maybe my favorite shirt from them. They do now have a regular fit. It was slim fit only back in the day, so I actually sized up. I went with a large and then I tailored it in, and it fits okay. It doesn't really button up around my chest, which is my minor gripe. Also, because it doesn't have that nylon filament, it's a little scratchy for me because it is just wool and linen. And it's just not my go-to, but I think it looks so good that I still find myself putting it all the time. You can see in Turks and Caicos I wore it. I just prefer their t-shirts because they're so comfortable. This is like wearing pajamas. It's just such a beautiful piece of clothing. Now, they do have other button-down options. So I went with a solid piece here, and this is just like kind of my work shirt if I have to dress up for anything professional. I do like their button downs, and this is kind of what put them on the map. I don't know if you've seen any of their social media posts or if you followed their website, but they basically had like a year-long challenge. If you could wear their clothing for an entire year without washing, without it smelling, that was their whole shtick. And a lot of people did it and swore by it. Now, they did clarify that these people did wear undershirts, which is fine still. I have a feeling that the shirt would smell, but their shirts seem to pass all the independent sniff tests. A lot of people really swear by their button-down shirts. Now, these are pretty much 100% merino wool, so they might feel a little scratchy. However, I do feel like they are extremely comfortable. I tend to be very sensitive to that. Sometimes they can feel a little itchy, and I actually do have another button down here that feels a little more scratchy than this one. This one is much softer. They do have different weights of the fabric. I believe this is maybe 130 GSM, and this one might be a little heavier. But both of these are fantastic. I wear them all the time, anytime I have to dress up. They pack down into nothing. They don't really wrinkle, and if they do, it's very easy to get the wrinkles out. You can just throw them up in a hot, steamy shower while you're getting ready, and you're good to go. So I love these shirts, and these are kind of what put them on the map. So if you're looking for a dressy button down for your one bag travels, if you're traveling a lot for work and you want to do it in a one bag style, Woolen Prints has you covered there as well. Now, unfortunately, I only have their tops to talk about because I never really got into any of their bottoms. I think they have some shorts now, maybe some pants, but for tops, Woolen Prints has pretty much won me over. They're just the best in the game, and I was just hoping to share that information with you guys. If you are looking for tops to take on your year-long worldwide venture, or if you just need a few button-ups for your work trip, then absolutely go check them out. And the other thing I absolutely love about them, they have women's clothing as well. And I feel like that's very hard to find. For some reason, a lot of these companies tend to only focus on men, and that's great for me, obviously. But for my partner, Bree, it's a little bit more frustrating when you try to find women's clothing out of these great materials, you know, kind of purpose built for one bag travel, and there just aren't many people in the space. So thank you, Wool & Prince, for what you're doing. Those are all the clothes that I have worn. Now, this is what I haven't worn, and I wanted to keep this in the package because I wanted to show you another reason I like them so much. If you're worried about sustainability, this is the company. It comes in this recyclable, compostable paper packaging. When you pull it out, it's not wrapped in plastic or anything. It just has this little sleeve. I love the branding here, Wool & Prince. That's it. Slide it off. All of that can be recycled. There's a little piece of kind of paper, cardboard in here, and that's it. That's great. So this is their new wool linen shirt, and the reason I wanted to try this out is because I was doing a hot weather one bag t-shirt review at one point, and it is really hot here, and I love Wool & Prince. I love them, but I have said that in extremely hot and humid, I do think the claims about merino wool being like this amazing hot weather material are probably a little overblown. It is a little heavier in terms of weight, and linen in my mind has always been known as the hot weather material of choice, and I think it rightly so deserves that role. So when I found out that Wool & Prince had a linen blend shirt, I jumped on it. I was like, please send me this. I would love to review it, and they graciously did so. So thank you, Wool & Prince, one more time. Now this is 86% merino wool and 14% linen. So it's not an extremely heavy linen blend, but you are getting enough of the material, I feel like, to hopefully have some of the benefits. It is incredibly thin and light. I mean, compared to the shirts that I was just holding up, it feels like nothing. This feels like I'm holding a cloud. It's a beautiful color, and that's the other thing I wanted to say about Wool & Prince. I'm actually glad I just reminded myself, is that a lot of these companies that specialize in one bag clothing, they tend to have like black, gray, and navy blue. They always tend to play towards the favorites, and obviously it works because that's what we buy, because we need it to be versatile in a capsule wardrobe. But I do like Wool & Prince because it does give you the opportunity to express yourself. They do have various colors that you don't necessarily find in all these other brands. They have reds, teals, kind of like these smoky colors, these forest greens. So would highly recommend them if you're looking for something else to really beef up your wardrobe. All right, fashion show time. Now, I apologize for the crease lines. I obviously just pulled this out of the package, but I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. We've got some awesome content coming for you guys, some really good ideas, and some other brands that we've partnered with that we would love to show off and explain to you why they are some of our favorite one bagging brands to take with us on the road. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe so you get notified on the next video. Thank you for watching.